Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our wellness workshop number 4. My name is Mia, and we have
Angie,
Nicole,
Cecilia.
And just as a reminder, we are first and second year occupational therapy students working with the Emeriti Center for the summer. Our workshop today will be on staying active and healthy eating. And I know we're not with you live on Zoom right now, so if you do have any questions, feel free to email us, and we'll be presenting our email at the end of the session. Our objectives for this session. So after participating, you will be able to recall the benefits of engaging in regular physical activity and a more nutritious diet, identify the risks associated with a sedentary lifestyle, identify different methods of engaging in physical activity, demonstrate understanding of how to implement physical activity and nutrition management into daily routines, and identify different components of nutrition labels. Physical activity can be defined as any movement of the body that requires energy expenditure. Based on this definition, simple tasks such as brushing your teeth or even taking out the trash can count as physical activity. However, today we will be focusing on the benefits of routinely engaging in moderate to vigorous physical activities. So the CDC currently recommends that adults participate in moderate intensity aerobic activity for at least 150 minutes per week. So this can be simplified as 30 minutes 5 days a week, or an alternative to this is participating in vigorous activity for at least an hour and 15 minutes once per week.
Physical activity benefits. The benefits associated with routine physical activity are extensive. Starting with the immediate benefits associated with physical activity, short-term benefits may include improved sleep quality. Research shows that individuals who participate in moderate to vigorous physical activity exhibit reduced sleep onset time and deeper sleep, though it is important to note that higher intensity exercise is not recommended within 3 hours of your bedtime. Individuals also exhibit improved mood and decreased feelings of anxiety immediately following physical activity and improved cognitive function to include enhanced memory and executive functioning skills. Long-term benefits may include improved heart health, which lowers the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, improved balance, coordination, and bone health, which reduces risks of falls, improved strength and endurance, which increases ability to perform everyday activities, and most importantly, regular physical activity increases life expectancy. Researchers at Brigham Young University who studied the DNA of nearly 6,000 adults found that the telomeres, the end caps on chromosomes that shorten with age, were longer in people who were active compared to those who were sedentary. This correlated to about a 9-year difference in cell aging between those who were active versus those who were inactive. Risks of a sedentary lifestyle. The Sedentary Behavior Research Network defines a sedentary behavior as any activity involving sitting, reclining, or lying down that has very low energy expenditure. So basically the opposite behaviors of physical activity. As technology continues to advance and simplify our way of life, individuals are able to complete many of their daily tasks without having to overexert themselves. For example, many professions require work to be completed from a desk, commuting requires one to be seated for an extended amount of time, and leisure time is often spent viewing a screen, whether it's streaming television, scrolling social media, or browsing the internet. Physical activity is repeatedly emphasized as an essential lifestyle factor for adults due to its close association with chronic disease prevention. If an individual chooses not to participate in regular physical activity, they are susceptible to the following risks. You burn fewer calories, which makes you more likely to gain weight, potentially leading to obesity. There's increased risk of stroke and certain cancers. You may have poor blood circulation and your body may have more inflammation. A sedentary lifestyle also appears to have a negative impact on mental well-being. Studies have shown that sedentary behavior is associated with risks of depression and increased feelings of anxiety. Becoming and staying physically active. So, how to get started? There are many different ways to participate in physical activity. I've included this visual to highlight how minimal physical activity guidelines can be met. So, for instance, 10 minutes of vacuuming, 15 minutes of stair climbing, 30 minutes of brisk walking, 50 minutes playing pickleball, 15 minutes bicycling, and 30 minutes exercising on an elliptical machine would add up to 150 minutes of your recommended activity for the week. The most important part of this process is to start, because some physical activity is better than no physical activity. Tips to stick with it. So pick an enjoyable activity. It's important to engage in physical fitness activities that interest us. So if you're not particularly fond of the gym, then consider opting for an outdoor activity, such as going for a jog in the park or riding a bike. Get creative with your physical activity of choice. Consider incorporating music, a podcast, or audiobook into your activity. This may provide additional motivation or distraction to extend the duration of the activity and make the experience more enjoyable. Bring a friend along. There are many physical activities that involve more than one person, such as tennis or basketball. Furry friends also can join you for an extended walk. Commit to a day and time frame. For example, I will participate in some type of physical activity weekday mornings before I go into work. Make sure to set a schedule that is realistic to your everyday routine so that you're able to stick with your goal. And lastly, remember why you're choosing to dedicate yourself to this lifestyle. This reason should be personal and meaningful to you. This way, if there is ever a time you're not being as committed as you planned, you can reflect on why you believe it is important to stay physically active.
We also want to touch on safety, especially if this is your first time really getting into physical activity. So we want to make sure that you're beginning with low intensity exercise if you haven't been exercising too much recently, just to kind of be gentle on your body and on your joints. You want to make sure that you're staying hydrated, especially now in the summer. You want to pay attention to safety hazards. So for example, if you are walking or jogging outdoors, making sure to watch out for any cracks in the cement or anything on the ground. If you are doing any exercise in your home, paying attention to things like rugs that might be sliding around, or maybe if you're in your socks, that might be a little bit slippery. So just really being cognizant of various hazards in your environment when you are exercising. Also, we recommend that you ask your doctor if there's any exercises or activities you should avoid, if your preventative care is up to date, just to ensure that you're kind of at your healthiest. And if you do have any health conditions or diagnoses, making sure to really ask how that might affect your ability to exercise and what you should be mindful of in regards to that. And then, of course, stop any activity if you notice any severe pain, pressure, or dizziness.
So now we're going to switch gears and go over nutrition management and healthy eating. So healthy eating and a healthy diet is a diet that helps maintain or improve a person's health through their food choices. A healthy diet can provide the body with all of the essential nutrients it needs to thrive. Healthy eating can look like choosing healthy foods for a majority of the time, and for the small amount of time, you can choose a little bit on the unhealthier foods that you may eat. Having a healthy routine is not necessarily about strict restrictions and limitations or staying away from your favorite foods, but is rather about feeling good, having more energy, and improving one's health long term. So why is nutrition management important? Nutrition management is important for many reasons, such as it can increase your energy levels, it can help improve your mood and mental health overall. It can improve your memory and brain function. Sometimes it can help with weight control if that's what you're looking for in nutrition management. It can help build a stronger immune system. It can help give you better sleep. It can also increase productivity and attention and can prevent diseases and illnesses over time. So next we'll kind of be discussing the healthy eating plate. The Healthy Eating Plate was created at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health by nutrition experts. It was created to address some of the deficiencies that the USDA MyPlate had. So it's more an updated version of the MyPlate. And the MyPlate kind of also breaks it down into like how much of each portion you should be eating of like your whole grains, healthy proteins, your fruits, your vegetables, your oils, and liquids. So the healthy eating plate provides a guidance and a more digestible, easy format to help people make better eating choices to help improve their overall health. So if you're looking at this plate and you're eating a meal, this is kind of where you want to be for your serving sizes of each of the food groups.
So now we're going to be discussing portion sizes. So one general guideline that someone can follow is portion sizes. Oftentimes we see serving sizes on food items and general recommendations on different websites of how much of each food you should be eating, but oftentimes this is given in cup measurements in ounces. Chances are that people may not always have access to tools to measure out their food. So the University of Minnesota Extension created some general portion guidelines to help with portion sizes. The portion size guides matches the portion recommendations for different foods with objects that people are probably familiar with. So when a person is deciding how much of a food to eat, they can try to match it to the size of the object. And as a reminder, these are not specific guidelines, and it may not be suitable for everyone's dietary needs, but it's a general start for some. So some examples are for 3 ounces of fish, one can use a smartphone. For a cup of dry cereal, they can use a closed fist. And for 1 ounce of cheese, you can, it's equivalent to 2 dice. This is portion size is continued. So 1 cup of leafy greens is equivalent to a baseball. A 1/4 cup of nuts is equivalent to 1 large egg. And 1/4 cup dried fruit is the size of a golf ball. So now we're going to go into reading nutrition labels. So the information in the top section of the nutrition label can vary with each food, beverage, and product. It contains product-specific information like serving size, calories, and nutrition information. The bottom section explains the percent daily value and gives the number of calories used for general nutrition advice. It is important for people to be able to understand how to read and interpret a nutrition label. For example, if you look at number 1, it contains serving information, but the serving size reflects the amount that people typically eat or drink. It is not a recommendation for how much you should eat or drink. Calories provide a measure of how much energy you get from a serving of this food. The nutrients show you some key nutrients that impact your health, and the percent daily value shows how much of a nutrient in a serving of food contributes to a total daily diet. And the percent daily value helps you determine if a serving of food is high or low in a nutrient. As a friendly reminder, the number of calories you may need depends on your age, weight, height, sex, and your current level of physical activity. Here are some nutrition management tips. So some healthy habits to encourage proper nutrition are to stay hydrated, limit distractions while eating, planning out meals ahead of time, giving yourself plenty of time to eat, eating with others, and having multiple meals a day. Some other healthy nutrition tips are to have a well-balanced diet with a variety of foods, such as consuming lots of vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy products. Minimizing foods with high saturated cholesterol and fat and cutting down on refined sugars and processed foods can be a healthier option and extremely beneficial for your health. We also recommend using less salt and limiting high sodium foods. An easy way to cut down on sodium intake is by using more spices and herbs to season your food.
And in conclusion, we also have created some handouts for the nutrition management portion, as well as the physical activity portion of the presentation. You can find these resources probably where the link is to this Zoom, and on these handouts, there'll be resources to help you get started on being more active and have a healthier lifestyle. And as well, since we weren't in person at the same time for this, you can email us at our OT student email if you have more questions about this presentation. And We also have one more summer workshop coming up, our final workshop. We're so thankful to be part of the Maritime Center for the summer, and we're excited for our last workshop, which will be on July 28th at 1 p.m. and we'll be back on Zoom, and we will be discussing home safety. And here are our references. Thank you all so much for watching this video.